Colleen Medina, and she listened. And she listened. Colleen Medina!
Thank you, Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guest. There is a kind of fear that doesn't announce itself. It's not loud. It just sits quietly in your chest, and it waits for a mirror. You see, that mirror for me lived inside of the Dillard's changing room. I was 12 years old, and my body was changing faster than my confidence could keep up. My shoulders made me feel like a linebacker. My chesticles made it awkward to run. And my thighs were constantly chafing because, as my mother would say, I was just so womanly. I didn't understand what was going on with me, and so I didn't want anyone else to see it. I'd figured out a way to just bury these feelings deep, deep down, and that came with baggy boy clothes and taping down these chesticles. The only reason I stopped doing that was because it made it hard to breathe during recess. You see, there's things that go on within us that we can't always explain, and sometimes it just feels best to push it away. And during those moments, I did the one thing that I knew to do. I ran to my mother, and she listened. When I was 7, I was watching TV, and I saw something a little inappropriate. I didn't fully understand it, but my body was reacting. I thought something horrible had been exposed about me, and I sprinted to the bathroom to hide. My mother quietly followed. She gently asked questions, and she listened. When I was in elementary school, some of the boys had some pretty fun nicknames for me. I was called Hulk. I was called the Man. I was called Thunder Thighs. And a few other choice words. Even some of those boys, though, when they mocked me in public, they told me in private that they liked me. I didn't know what was worse, being mocked out loud or hidden as a secret. So I ran to my mother, and she listened. When I got to middle school, the voices outside had internalized, and I became my own worst critic. I did not want anyone to see me because I was still so confused. And that day in the dressing room came. My mother brought to me this beautiful blue blouse. It had ruffles around the collar and the sleeves. I wasn't gonna put that on. And I told her, "What's the point? I'll feel silly." "Do it for me," she said. And I felt the words bubbling out of me that I was afraid to say. "Mom, something is wrong with me." She didn't rush. She just stepped closer to me, held me by my shoulders, and said, "God didn't make a mistake when he made you." I collapsed into her arms sobbing. In those moments with my mother, she didn't stress to give me answers. She didn't rush the moment to fix it. She stayed and she listened. What she gave me was time. What she gave me was safety. Gave me a place to share the feelings that were inside of me that I was scared to say out loud. And she listened. Eventually, I grew into my body. The teasing, it faded. the confusion inside of me softened. And this little enemy that I thought I had became more of a gal pal. What I have learned is that when you give someone the space to express themselves, it won't change them right in that moment, most likely. But what it's doing is giving them the space and time to change as they need to become who they are, without assuming that something is wrong with them needing to be adjusted. Because nothing about me needed to be rushed. Nothing about me needed to be corrected. I just needed the space to become. So I ask you all, if someone comes to you in moments of fear, shame, confusion, don't rush the moment. Stay. Listen. Especially if it's a child. Allow them to just become. And when I think back to that young girl looking in the mirror, believing deep down something was wrong with her, all I can do now is close my eyes and say, thank God she listened. Mr. Contest Chair.
All right, Colleen.